In this lecture, we can see about code division multiple access. So as we know, there are many multiple access techniques available so that we can able to transmit the informations from one place to another, and we also can able to receive the same information in another spot. So the media is wireless. So code division multiple access plays a main role in today's communication aspect. So here we can see about the main features and the concept of the CDMA and how this differ from other methods as like frequency division multiple access and time division multiple access. So before moving to the code division multiple access, so just some few points about the FDMA. So FDMA, we have studied that this is a multiple access scheme where based on frequency. So for example, if 3 users are available, the 3 users will be given a separate frequency band and they will be able to access the network. And here the users are limited to a particular frequency band. That is the main point here we need to understand. In the same way, with time division multiple access, we can say that there is no restrictions on the frequency band for the users, but what we can say is only for a particular period of time. So based on the time slot in the TDMA frame, and in that format only the users can able to access the network. So these were considered as the primitive multiple access schemes. Now CDMA, code division multiple access, this is one modern type of multiple access scheme available so that we can able to send and receive information without any restrictions. So here we can say the narrow band message signal will be transferred by multiplying with a pseudo code word which is called by the name spreading signal, and by which we can able to make the spreading sequence in the spread spectrum format, and with the spread spectrum we can able to easily transfer the information as long as possible. So here what is meant by the term spreading signal? So the spreading signal is a pseudo random noise code sequence, so which is normally used with high magnitude comparable to the information which we send. So then all users use the same carrier frequency. That is another important consideration with the code division multiple access, and they can able to simultaneously transmit. So there is a possibility and the highlighted feature with the code division multiple access. And now we can have a question here, how the data will be secured. So here the main point is each user will be given their own pseudo random code. So this code will be orthogonal to other code users. So each user is assigned a unique code which can be assigned in the way so that the simultaneous transmission is possible for all the users with the same carrier frequency. So here we can see in the diagram, so code area apart from time and frequency. So here each one of the frequency bands is allotted for users, so that is each one will be having a pseudo code. So the thing which we need to consider here is each allotted band space here will be with the code format, pseudo random code, and this code will be surely for the neighboring users will be orthogonal. So since orthogonality is maintained now, we can prevent interference. So to elaborate this, we can consider the process of CDMA, that is working principle. Here we say this is a transmitting side, this is a receiving side. So sender and the receiver. In the sending side we can say that this is a data for user A, this is a data for user B. So the information in the form of the signal will be now multiplied with the code. So this is the code multiplied for the data user A. This is the code multiplied with the data user B. And once this pseudo random code is getting multiplied here, that is the spreading signal, this information now will be becoming to wideband. So in the wideband format, now the signal is now ready to get transmitted. So this is the area where we say about the spread spectrum, and in the spread spectrum we say the wideband sequence, the information is now being transferred towards the receiving place. So here the receiving spot also, it is now in the wideband format only, and each user's data will be secure because each one of them is orthogonal to other. Okay, so there is another consideration here. So what we do here is, before transmission of all the signals, the signals will be multiplied with the unique code. The 0 and PN sequence code can be called as that is Unicode. So now we will get a wideband signal. So CDMA uses the same carrier frequency to modulate all the users. So that there is the process. So in the receiving side, the receiver should know the PN code, pseudo random code. Then only it can able to decrypt the data. So here to get the user A information, it will be doing the same multiplication process here with the pseudo random code, so that it can able to get the transmitted signal in this form here in the receiving side. As like for B also, if user B also wants to receive the signal in that format at which it has been generated, and that also will be possible to get received. So this is a spreading sequence format we have in the code division multiple access. Now few drawbacks will be have with CDMA. So that is, we say about the near far problem. So near far problem arises when users with low power, so low power will not get a chance to connect to the base station. So there is a problem normally arises from the CDMA working process. So what is the thing? So by adjusting the power control is the main thing. So power control should be implemented at the base station, so that each mobile and the particular link will be enhanced for communication effectively. Then the main features of CDMA, many users of CDMA system share the same frequency. Then either TDD or FDD can be used. Then unlike TDMA or FDMA, CDMA has soft capacity limit. So handoff also will be done very nominal way without any much difficulties. Then increasing the number of the users in the CDMA system will raise the noise floor. So what we do here, there is no limit on absolute limit on the number of users, but with normal conditions sometime there is a chance to get near far problem, but that will be adjusted with the power control at the base station side, and the multipath fading will be highly reduced because the signal is now spreading over large spectrum. Then overall we can say that with this multiple access scheme we can able to transfer high data rate. So channel data rate will be very high. Then another one problem arises in CDMA, that is called self jamming. So self jamming arises due to the thing like the spreading sequence of different users. Suppose if they miss the orthogonality, so there the chance to get self jamming. So here when we try to despread based on the pseudo random code, and so that we can able to decorrelate all the individual signals. So once we make this thing to decorrelate in the receiving side, then only we can able to prevent this kind of interference, possibly with ISI, inter-symbol interference. So the near far problem in CDMA, normally in the receiving side, because of the undesired user will be having a high detector power as compared to the desired user. So that will be because of the low power problem. So that will be adjusted with the power control. So overall we can say comparable to frequency division multiplexing and time division multiplexing, the code division multiplexing multiple access method is having more feature and it's more advantageous, so that we can able to send more data without much interference. So that's all in the class today.